You said you feel bad for Jets fans. It's a group of fans that most people would not feel bad for where they are at. They lost again tonight. They are 2-12. I am only talking about the Philadelphia 76ers. Embiid had a better game, 35-11, but it seems they had a player and coach meeting. Reports are that Tyrese Maxey had to tell mans, yo, Joel, you need to be on time. You got to stop being late. Vinny Goodwill on his podcast, clip came out right before our episode started. Joel this summer wanted Philly to go get Jimmy Butler. As we know, they didn't go get Jimmy Butler. Do we think somewhere down the pipeline, Joel Embiid trade request, Shams drops it on X and Threads and Instagram, Joel Embiid has requested a trade. Is that coming down the pipeline that he don't want to be in Philly?
100%.
I don't even think it would have to be a trade request. I think at some point Philly's going to just get tired of the whole am I playing this week? I don't really feel like it. Like that's what his attitude seems like, and then he wants to snap at reporters and attack reporters like, nah, you the one who's not playing. Like, they're just telling it like it is. So if I'm Philly, I'm going to see how this experiment goes with him, Maxey, Paul George. But if it doesn't translate to like a conference finals run, I'm looking to move on from him as soon as possible. Because he's just a guy you have a track record of, you can't count on him. Like, you can win with Maxey. Maxey's shown it in the playoffs. Like, he can be the best player in a playoff series. You got Paul George, which, I mean, whatever. But Embiid, this is supposed to be like a top 3 player in the NBA. Like, this is a guy who, it was between him and Jokic a couple of years ago, who's the best center, who's the best player in the league. And then now we're just like laughing at them. Like, this guy's an idiot. Like, he's picking and choosing when he wants to play, plays in the Olympics, then misses the first couple weeks of the season. Like, where they do that at? Like, what are we talking about? This guy is, I don't like him. I don't like him at all. Like, a couple years ago, maybe I was thinking about him as a trade target for the Knicks, but thank God that's not necessary anymore, because a guy who's willing to eat cheeseburgers before games and, you know, he's not in the best of shape, which that's been a thing for him. He's not in the best of shape, which if you're not in shape, you get these ticky-tack small injuries, and that leads to other things down the road. So, Philly, wish I could have told you so, but get out while you can. That's what I'm gonna say.
Look, he's gonna be out of there. All right, that's the bottom line. I think Miles hit the nail on the head. Embiid's a pain in the butt, and he covered why he's hard to root for at this point for Philly fans and for people in the front office. But if you look at just the tea leaves, and really it's not even that. It's not even that subtle. He is being very open and clear that he does not want to be there. That guy showing up late to meetings, we never heard before in his career that he had an issue with tardiness. At this point, then you think about the interview he did a couple weeks ago. It may have been a post-game interview right before he had the whole little situation with the reporter, where he said that fans are basically ungrateful that he played through Bell's palsy, that you guys seem to forget about that he's played through numerous injuries that no one talks about, and all they can think about is the fact that he's not playing now, and they don't appreciate what he's done. This is essentially what he said. I'm paraphrasing. That's what he said. He has a real gripe with the organization for not supporting him publicly through his injuries and with the fans. And I'm not saying that he has a real case to be made. I'm not arguing that, because in my opinion, you fat, like, get in shape. Like, that's why you're getting hurt. Get in shape. I've been saying that about Embiid for a long time. But I'm talking about it from his perspective. He wants out. And he has a love affair with Jimmy Butler. And he's wanted Jimmy Butler to come back for a long time. He did not want to lose him the first time around. Apparently he wanted him again, which I think Tone would have covered. I may be stealing his thunder. But he wanted him back again. And instead, they got Paul George. And then when they asked him about Jimmy Butler after a game against Miami earlier this week, he raised about Jimmy Butler and says he's the top 5 player in the NBA and he's amazing and he's unguardable. That's a micro aggression. He's passively he's subtweeting the Daryl Morey at that point. So these guys know what's going on in the organization, and they know that right now they have Jeremy McCain, who's amazing. They have Tyrese Maxey, who's a high-level basketball player. They could restart with those 2 guys. You want to get this guy out of there because he's going to spread again, this is on theme for the night, a fungus in the organization, which is Joel Embiid. He's upset. He's unhappy. He's walking around mugging people, talking in that little deep voice, raspy, all that stuff, like walking in there barefoot, talking crazy. And at the end of the day, you got to get him out of the organization so these young guys can flourish and see how things are supposed to be done. Thank God they have good vets like Kyle Lowry in the building. But 2-12 with that team, and Paul George is hurt every single night. And that was a desperation trade, if we're being honest about it. Or pickup. It wasn't a trade, it was a pickup. It's just, you got to get him out of there. And he wants to be out. So to Miles's point, they may beat them to the punch and trade him, right? Without him asking. But I think that he's going to have to ask. He's too good of a player. He's going to have to ask to get traded. And when he does, we'll see what teams are going to line up to go get this guy with all the injury history, with all the shenanigans, with everything that's come with him, with the baggage, right? With all the mileage. We're going to see who wants to line up to go get this guy. It's going to be very interesting. I know one team, Miami, that would line up because they've been star hungry for years, guys. They've been desperate and they've been telling us. So they might do it, but I don't know a whole lot of other teams that are going to do it because he comes to too much. So we'll see. But the whole thing and shape thing to me has been an unforgivable sin with him.
All